In this video, we want to look at interpretation of financial statements. I'll be using accounting ratios in this video. And Apple is our case study. Apple Computers are our case study. Their financial statement for 2023, 2022. And majorly, we want to look at the current ratio in this video. The current ratio of Apple Computer in 2022 and 2023 respectively. And I will give the interpretation. But before we look at the numbers, let's quickly look at what is current ratio. Current ratio is one of the liquidity ratios. We use it to measure the ability of a company to pay back its short-term liability. So majorly it is used by creditors and lenders. That's what a current ratio is. So what is the formula? The formula of current ratio is current assets over current liability. Because the answer we are going to get is going to give us ratio 1. Ratio 1. What is the meaning of this ratio 1? You can see it here. The meaning of this ratio 1 simply means for every dollar that Apple Computer holds to its creditors, what does it have to pay? What is the ratio of its assets, of its current assets to meet that obligation? For every dollar, how much dollar does it have to pay that $1? I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that is that. Then what is the formula? Just like I said, it is current assets or current liability. What are current assets? Basically, it is cash, receivables, which we also known as debtors, receivables, then we have bank, then inventory. If it's a company that deals with inventory, so we have inventory, then we have prepaid expenses, and so on and so forth. I hope you understand. So those are examples of current assets. While current liability, there are short-term liability in all. Every liability that will be settled or paid back within a year, within 12 months. That is what current liability is. What is the ideal range of a current ratio? It differs from industries to industry. So it is not something that we can say it is generic. And also you know that the environment, the context in which the company also is playing. So it ranges from company to company. However, generally, we want to look at the general context now, that ideally, once it is 1.5 or 2 to ratio 1, it is considered healthy. Generally, not industry specific now. While if it is below 1, which is it is below 1, ratio 1, it suggests that the company needs to look inward, needs to look at it, what is happening to their working capital, what is happening to their current assets. They need to look at it because it's a red flag to creditors, it's a red flag to suppliers that this company may not be able to meet up with its short-term obligation. It sends a wrong signal to the creditors or to the suppliers. And the third one, if it is above 3 implies that that company is not utilizing its assets enough, inefficient use of its assets. So that is the implication. Once it is over 3, or they are sitting on excess cash, or maybe they have too many inventory. So that is the implication. You need to look at their working capital. So that is what it implies. So if it is over 3, that does not mean, okay, the company is good. Yes, they will be able to meet up with their short-term liabilities. But the question is, hope they are utilizing their assets. They are maximizing their current asset. They are utilizing it. So they need to look at that. So quickly, let's look at Apple's number for 2022 and 2023. These figures are in millions. So it is 135,405. Then that's for current asset for 2022. Then current liability, it is 153,982. So while this is 143,566 over 145,308. This now gives us 0.988. Then this gives us 0.879. So the question is, how are we going to interpret this? Just like I said, the ideal range is this, and that should be able to give you how to interpret. I don't want to make a public verdict, since this is a real life situation. It's a real life situation because the industry in which Apple is playing has its industry average. And don't forget, Apple, as at the time of making this video, is the largest company in the whole world. Going by market capitalization, it is the largest company. That's why I usually tell people, you don't just look at one metric in order to judge a company. There are several other metrics you need to look at, and because they work hand in hand. So in our next video, we'll be talking about the quick ratio. The quick ratio, we may decide to pick another company, or we also still look at Apple. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly do by clicking on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we release a new video. Till we meet in our next video, stay blessed.